All right, students, I am Mrs. Potter, or Profe Potter, and today I am here to tell you via video or in person how to set up your interactive notebook. We use interactive notebooks every single day in the Spanish room, every single day. All of your work will be in there. What we're talking about is a composition notebook that looks like this. Very, very important. You were supposed to bring them to class today so we could get them set up. You'll notice that mine is pretty blank. It's ready to be filled with information for the year. So you have your notebook, and we're going to go ahead and get started by setting them up. The purpose of these is to keep all of our information, toda la información, within your notebook. So you don't have a binder, you don't have loose papers, you don't have folders with things that fall out. It is all in here for the entire year. You can take this to la escuela secundaria, to high school you can take it. You can take it to trabajo, to your job in the future, your workplace. So this will have everything you need to reference. It's a tool, so we need to set it up correctly. You're also, everything in here I expect you to look back at. You might use it over and over and over again. This isn't what you would use for just a random homework assignment that you would write down, like a math problem. Math problems are great to practice, but you're probably not going to look at math problems you've already done unless it's an example. So in here, everything you're going to go back and reference, like a tool. And they're super, super organized and help middle schoolers especially stay responsible. So this is your Cuaderno. So here's your notebook. Now here's how we're going to set it up. The very first thing you need to do, your notebook probably does not look like this. Mine is decorated and pretty and it's ready for the year. Yours probably actually will start out looking like one of these bad boys. Either fancy pink or traditional composition notebook. These are examples of what they look like before we take care of them and decorate them if you like. Lots of people like to make them their own. Perfectly fine. I like to make mine fancy. So I have decorated the front and back of this notebook. I'm going to be looking at it every year, so I want it to be something that I own. So in class today, what you need to do is you need to make sure there are a couple of things on it. And I have written these on the board for you as well so that you can follow along and make sure you have them just in case you don't hear them. The first thing you need on the cover is your name. Both your Spanish and your English name need to be somewhere on the front. You'll see my Senora Potter down here. I don't use my English name in class, so you need your Spanish and English name so I can get those in my head. You need your hour. Mine is referenced for all my classes, so I don't have an hour on here. You'll either put second or fourth or sixth. Those are the 3 hours I have this year. If you're watching it in a year that is not 2017, then you will need to put a different year, but you need to put your year. I have fall 2017 on here. After that, you need to also put your semester. So year, semester, and your hour, whichever hour you have Spanish class, whichever hour of the day. And that is your cover. Make sure you go ahead and get those things written in somewhere. You can use a marker on your desk. If you feel as though you're going to decorate this at home this weekend or on Monday with a little bit of time that you're going to get in class on Monday, you're welcome to write your information in here so you know that you need to add it later if you want to add fancy tape and do some decoration later. We're not going to decorate today. We're just going to get it set up. So wherever you want to put that information for today, please go ahead and put that down. That's the cover. The second thing that every interactive notebook needs in order to be useful and helpful to you is an index. So we're going to do that next. In the back of the classroom, or somewhere in the classroom, wherever your teacher points or wherever I've told you to look, mine is in the back of my classroom, you will notice that you have an index board. I'll go ahead and show it to you. It's in the back of the classroom. You can probably just turn around and look at it, but you have an index board, and it has everything that is updated on the index daily on this board. So when you come into class, you'll get out your notebook and you'll update your index before we even start class, because it'll be back there whatever you need. So we're going to go ahead and set up your index today. So you need a couple of things. First thing is your index starts on the very first page when you open it. Very first, right here. Not the back of your cover, right here on the very first page. And you need 3 things written at the top of your notebook. The first is la página. that is the page number. In this area, you'll notice that it's separated by the red line, and I'll write this on the board too so you can see the words a little better than in the video. You're going to write el número, or the number of your page that goes right here as we work throughout your notebook. So when I say, hey, Billy Bob, ¿dónde está tu conversación básica? Where is your basic conversation? You can say, oh, page 5, let me help you out. And you can show it to me. So we have page number. The second thing that you'll have is el índice, or the index. And right here is where you're going to write the titles of your assignments. So we write el índice at the top, and then you're going to have the titles of your assignments as we go through, so you can easily reference where something is. And when I'm grading your notebook, I'll be able to easily find it as well. The third thing we have over here is la fecha. La fecha, that is the date. And every day when we write something in, you will write the date over here in the third column. You also have a red line to divide it there. And that'll let you know, for example, if somebody's absent, I can easily go through and say, hey, you missed this day, make sure you have a spot right there. Or I can tell you the day we did it. I can say, hey, we did that on Monday. And you can easily access it in your folder there, or in your notebook that way. So, those are three important things. La página, el índice, y la fecha. The page number, the index, which is your title of all your assignments, and your date. So that's what we have there regarding your index. This is extremely important. It's not optional, it is required, and it'll help you keep organized. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to skip 4 pages. So take your notebook and count with me. You feel free to pause the video at any time if you need to write in some things if I'm going too fast. So we are going to turn 4 pages. Okay, so let me show you. So we've got our first index page. We're going to go. Vamos. Uno. Whoop. Lost my cuaderno. Uno. Dos. Tres. Cuatro. Okay? We've turned 4 pages. The reason for that is because all of these, there's a potential for them to be filled up with your index with the amount of activities that we do on a regular basis. So these are all for your index, which means right now at this very moment, take your pen or your pencil and you are going to put a 1 in the bottom right hand corner because this is the actual página número 1. This is the actual first page of your notebook. The rest is just the index. So this is where we start. Now, next, we are going to number pages 1 through 20 to get us started. The backs count. So, page 1, then you're going to go to the back and you're going to put a 2. Try not to use permanent marker. You can see my highlighters showing through just a little bit. So I'm going to get a pen so that it doesn't continue to soak through. So I got my page 2, 3, don't forget the backs, 4, and we're going to go all the way to 20. $11, $12, $13, $14, $15, $16, $17, $18, 19, 20. Now, the reason we went to 20 is just so that you have enough done to get us started probably for the next couple weeks or so. And so you know where you're going and you don't forget to do the backs. But we also don't want to go the rest of the way because we don't need to right now. So we got the first 20 pages in. Next thing we're going to do is we are going to insert a couple of items that you have on your table in front of you. We might need somebody to pass them out if you haven't received them yet, but they're on the table in front of you. We're going to go to página número 1, or your page 1. Okay, make sure you're on the right page with me. Don't get lost, and if we need to pause, feel free to pause to make sure your neighbors and yourself are all caught up. La página número 1. And what you're going to do on that very first page is we're going to take our class information sheet. This is your syllabus. This has all the guidelines of our rules for the class, that cheer we've been learning. It has all of how I grade on here. So many important pieces of information. Also the social media contacts in the event that you need homework reminders and you want to check Twitter or Instagram. That is a great place to access information of how to contact your teacher. Now, you'll notice that this page does not fit pretty into our notebooks. This will happen with some of your assignments, okay? Not all of them, but some of them. We do not glue it in like this to where it has this hangy thing on the side. That's something we don't do because it's gross and it bugs your teacher, so let's not do it. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna fold it in half. Como un taco, no como un burrito. Este es un burrito, este es un taco. Vamos a partirlo como un taco. We're going to fold it like a taco. And then we are going to take our glue stick, handy dandy glue stick, and we're going to glue it in on page 1. You can decide how you want it to open, as long as it opens one side, whatever makes sense to you. Sometimes left-handed people and right-handed people want different things in life, and that's okay. So we put our syllabus in just like this. I like to have mine open up, but it's up to you. I've got my syllabus there. And then I also, because it's a folded paper, not every paper is folded, but because I can't instantly tell what this is, I think it's important that we, vamos a escribir, that we write on the top of the paper what it is. So, I'm writing syllabus and class info. Syllabus, class info. So this is how I know when I open my notebook that I can instantly see this at a glance and know that that's my syllabus. So that's what we're going to do on the first page. Okay? Now, because we have done a page, we need to make sure we mark in our index what's on that page. So this is page 1. Vamos a ir al índice, vamos al índice, acá. And we're going to write página 1, and class information sheet. Whatever it's called at the top of your paper is what you write on here, or whatever it's called on your grading rubric. You'll see that later. So class information sheet, and then we write la fecha, acá, the date. So we're going to put, today is the 17th / of 8, August / 17. You will notice that I wrote my date different. In Spanish, we write el día, el mes, y el año. The date comes first because when you say the date, you say today's the 17th of August, 2017. Or hoy es el 17 de agosto 2017. So our date is written a little bit differently, so that'll be an adjustment for you. Make sure you do that. All right, now that we've got page 1 done, we're going to go to page 2. So you're going to have to flip past those pages, find your number 2. Página número 2, which is the back of page 1, in case you're following. You also have on your table a sheet that looks like this. At the beginning of every unit, I make a custom unit outline for you that shows you exactly what assignments we will be doing, what your goals are for communicating in Spanish, las metas para comunicarse en español, and las metas por el mundo real, your real world goals and how you can act as a person and what you're going to accomplish in that manner for this unit. You also have your vocabulary words that you need to know, our class cheer, and then a message from me as well as some login information. This is extremely important for the next several weeks. You'll get one of these every couple weeks and it tells you all about what you're going to be learning. So this is a very important paper, which means it goes in the notebook. So we're going to take this paper. This is your unit outline, Unidad 1, Unit 1, and we're going to glue it in with your pegamento glue stick. We're going to glue it in página número 2. Now you will notice that this page does not have, or this page has a title, so you don't need to write anything. This is self-explanatory. You will always know what this page is. Unlike our syllabus, which we couldn't really tell until you opened it, which is why we wrote that. So, we've got this here. The next thing we need to do is we need to put in our homework assignment from last night, as well as your unit goal slip that you have. Both of these things are going to go on página número 3. Now, this is a lot of setup. If you're a teacher watching this, it really doesn't take that long. It takes this long one time, and then daily they just do it on their own. Students watching this, we will not do this every single day. You will just have to update your index and glue one thing in every day. This is just the initial setup process. So, the very first assignment we did was this one. Conversación básica, or your basic greeting con 3 firmas, 3 signatures. We are going to glue that in. Notice these have titles too, and they're not folded. So we just glue them in, don't have to write anything. Hopefully you have your signatures filled in because they were homework last night and you got points for them. So that's how we're going to glue in the first one up top. So you have that assignment. Also notice that obviously you're not going to probably redo the assignment over and over, but this is helpful for you to practice at home right here. You've got how to say hello, you've got how to introduce yourself, and you've got a goodbye. An easy reference to start practicing when you're reviewing for a test or when you want to go communicate with someone and you're not quite sure what to say. This will help you out a lot. The next thing, we're going to go one step further today with our conversations. And we're going to try this. It's going to be rough. It's going to be rough for about 3 days. 3 días. Va a ser difícil por sobre 3 días. Acerca 3 días. So we're going to put this paper, and then it'll get easier. We'll practice it a lot. We're going to put this paper con el pegamento. Vamos a usar el pegamento para pegar este papel verde acá, debajo del otro papel verde. So you are set up just like this. You'll notice that I put it a la izquierda, to the left. I put it on the left side. That's because vamos a hacer actividades diferentes acá y necesitamos el espacio. We're going to do different activities here and we'll need the space to do that. So we need that blank. We're going to keep this here, this up top. Now, that is the end of how many things we are gluing and adding to our notebooks today. You will add more at a later time, not today. What I do need you to do now is I need you to stop, and I need you, after you've got these things glued in, we need to go back to the index, and then we need to update them. So, I'm going to do this one just for sake of today. You're on page 2. Remember, pause if you're behind. You can always rewind. That's the point of having this video. Those of you who are absent, you can watch this at home as well. Page 2 was your Unit 1 overview. Remember, we're still on the same day, so 17, 8, 17, por la fecha, acá. Unit 1 overview, 2. That's your gold paper. And then page 3 is what we did next. And you're going to call that basic greeting, 3 signatures. That's that slip we did on page 3, right there at the top. Okay, so basic greeting, 3 signatures. And then you'll notice we have something else on page 3. We might end up having 3 or 4 things. We still go back to our index and we put page 3 again. So we just write 3 right underneath it. And the next thing, let's see what that was called. What did I call that? We're going to call this basic conversation, conversación básica, basic conversation, English translation. And remember, for both of those, we need to put el 17 de 8, 17, 17 de 8, 17. por la fecha. So your index today, when you finish with what we've added on this very first day of working with your notebook, it's taken us about 20 minutes, maybe a little longer, and that's okay, because if we set it up right in the beginning, we'll be organized the whole year, and it's really a breeze after that. So this is your interactive notebook. This is how we work with it. Go ahead, check your neighbor's notebook, help them out if they need help, and we will move on to our, let me make sure I covered everything. Always, always, always update your index every day. Do not wait until 15 days into the unit and go, oh, I should do that. It's really, really complicated, speaking from past student experience. So make sure you update your index as you go, and you should be grand. So you can always go back and rewatch this if you feel like you messed up a page or you want some helpful hints. Hopefully your notebook looks like mine, and you can get started. If you finish your notebook early and you want to go ahead and, well, I'll keep that a secret. We can go ahead and stop this video, and if we're done, we'll move on to the next thing. I hope that you learned something. There's a huge purpose to these. It's extremely important that you don't lose them, and we'll move on to our next activity. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you got something out of it. Adios!